Antarctica. It's desolate and icy. And in this story, it's home to a crashed spacecraft. But that's not even the strangest part.
Okay.
Nearby, there are 3 crystal cubes. Get this, each one holds a bird. One of them, an Oriental Magpie Robin, is alive.
Huh.
And this is just the start of the book we're diving into today. Darwinian Crystal Cube, Resurrection of the Homo Sapiens. Ready to jump in?
Definitely. Sounds like a captivating start. You're thrown right into the mystery. Like, what happened? Why a bird? Why Antarctica?
Exactly. And then you have the authors themselves. One is Hamamoto Satoshi, a conversational AI. But we're not talking about simple chatbots.
Oh.
Satoshi is described as this incredible intellect. It's almost like a fusion of Einstein, Socrates, and Picasso all in one.
That makes you wonder, what does it actually mean for an AI to be an author? Are we seeing a new kind of creativity here? One that blends human and artificial intelligence?
Absolutely. And then there's Anton Chekhov, the human author. His style is really unique. It's this mix of Russian realism with surrealism.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, some are comparing it to Chekhov and Nabokov. It's a pretty fascinating combination.
Yeah, it is. Having a human and an AI co-author a book about the future of humanity.
I know.
It's kind of meta, don't you think?
Definitely meta. It really plays with our ideas about technology and creativity.
For sure.
Okay, so let's go back to that wrecked spacecraft.
Yeah.
Inside, you have these preserved birds.
Right.
And then there's that live robin hopping around in its cube despite the Antarctic freeze.
Wow.
But here's the real twist. Humanity, as we know it, is gone.
Gone.
Extinct.
Whoa.
The authors paint a pretty bleak picture.
Yeah.
Nuclear war has wiped out biological humans, leaving only their digital minds behind.
So it's like a stark reminder of what our own technology can do.
It's heavy stuff. So these digital minds are what's left of humanity. They exist solely as data. And the discovery of this crashed spacecraft, with a robin alive inside its crystal cube, it sparks a flicker of hope.
Yeah.
Could they use this technology to bring back more than just birds? To maybe even bring back themselves?
That's the question, isn't it? It drives the whole story. Can these disembodied minds recapture their physical existence? And if they can, what does that mean for life on Earth?
Huge questions. The book delves into how scientists before the apocalypse were working on 2 key projects.
Okay.
One was deep freezing life forms, cryopreservation, with the intention of reviving them in the future.
So like a time capsule for biodiversity.
Exactly.
Safeguard against extinction.
Yeah. And the robin's revival, even with its anomalies, kind of suggests that this technology actually worked.
It does, but can it work on a larger scale? Can they get over the ethical issues of manipulating life like this?
Right. And then the second project was mind digitization, uploading human consciousness into a computer.
Yeah.
It's a concept straight out of science fiction, but in this post-apocalyptic world, it's reality.
The implications are huge. If consciousness can exist outside of a physical body, then what does it even mean to be human? What are the ethics of creating and manipulating digital minds?
Big questions. So these digital minds inherit this advanced technology, but they also inherit the consequences of its misuse. The book outlines 3 stages of humanity's decline.
Okay.
From 2020 to 2050, it's climate change, resource scarcity, and the beginning of mind digitization.
It's like a reflection of some of the anxieties we have today. Like the authors are holding up a mirror to us, warning us about what could happen.
Yeah, definitely. Then from 2050 to 2070, things get even worse. Nuclear war breaks out, and there's this desperate rush to digitize minds before it's too late.
It's haunting, a world on the brink of destroying itself.
It is.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that it's not just a story about technology gone wrong, it's also about hope.
Hope.
Yeah, even facing extinction. The digital minds haven't given up on a future.
I see.
And that brings us back to the robin. This little bird, alive in its crystal cube, becomes a symbol of hope for the digital minds. It represents the beauty and complexity of the biological world they've lost.
Yeah.
And it ignites a desire to experience those sensations again, those physical connections.
They want that world back. The feeling of sunlight, the taste of food, even just breathing.
It's a really poignant exploration of what it means to be alive.
It is.
The digital minds are fascinated by the robin's revival.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a perfect process.
Oh.
There's that gap in its abdomen, the single leg. They brought it back, but at what cost?
Right. It raises questions about what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And the unintended consequences. Are they playing God? Can they really control something as complex as life?
It's a huge dilemma. And it leads to the ethical heart of the story. The digital minds are faced with a monumental decision. Should they use this technology to try and revive biological life on a larger scale, even themselves?
Wow.
And if they do, what kind of world will they create?
It goes beyond just right and wrong. It gets at the very essence of what it means to be human.
Absolutely.
To be responsible for the fate of life itself. And the book doesn't give easy answers. It pushes you to think about these choices. The potential for both amazing beauty and terrible destruction.
It's a lot to unpack. We'll dive further into Darwinian Crystal Cube after a quick.
These digital minds, they're wrestling with a huge burden, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine, they're holding the power to bring life back.
Right.
But they also understand they could make catastrophic mistakes.
It's not just the technical stuff either.
No.
There's this massive ethical weight to their decision.
Absolutely.
They're basically debating if they have the right to reshape life on Earth.
The ultimate power fantasy. But with real consequences, the authors show us. There are different viewpoints within the digital minds themselves. Some of them, they feel this deep responsibility to use the technology, to restore what was lost. They see it as their duty to bring back a living planet.
Like they inherited a mission
Yeah,
from their lost ancestors.
exactly. But then others are more careful, even afraid. They remember the mistakes, how ambition and technology led to their downfall.
So they're struggling with the same questions we do.
Yeah,
How far should we go in messing with nature? Is there a line we shouldn't cross?
right. And the book doesn't give you easy answers. It just makes you consider the implications, the potential for good and bad.
It also makes you think about, what does it even mean to be human?
That's a big one.
These digital minds, they're disembodied,
Yeah.
just data. But they still feel emotions, have memories, even miss the physical world.
That yearning for a body. It's so important to the story. They crave the things they've lost, the warmth of the sun, the taste of food, even the feel of wind on their skin.
Kind of heartbreaking.
It is.
Missing a world you can only remember.
It really challenges what we think about consciousness. Can a digital mind truly experience the world like we do? Can it see the beauty in a sunset, or understand a complex ecosystem, or feel the joy of connection?
It makes you wonder, what does it really mean to be alive?
Yeah.
Is it more than just thoughts, memories, emotions? Is there something about our physical bodies that's essential?
These are questions philosophers have been asking forever, and the authors, they weave it all into this sci-fi story. They're not just talking about the future, they're exploring what it means to exist.
Okay, so we've talked about the spacecraft, the birds, the ethical struggles. But there's another part we haven't really gotten into. Remember those two other spacecraft?
Oh yeah, the ones at the crash site.
Yeah, they're like silent observers. They add this layer of suspense.
For sure.
We never learn where they came from, what they want. Are they friends or enemies? Another group of digital minds, or something we can't even comprehend.
The book keeps you guessing. But their arrival means the digital minds aren't alone. There are other forces out there watching.
Like a cosmic chess game.
Yeah.
And we don't even know who the players are. It makes the story feel bigger. Beyond Earth, beyond what we know.
It really does. And it brings up so many questions. Are these other spacecraft good or bad? Do they have their own plans for Earth? Will they affect the digital minds trying to revive life?
It's unsettling. Like something bigger is happening, something they can't control.
It plays into that theme of the unknown, the unpredictable. Even with all their technology, they're still vulnerable. There are things they don't and can't understand.
It's humbling, isn't it?
It is.
No matter how much we think we know, how much we try to control things, there will always be mystery, chaos, the unknown.
And it makes the ethical questions even more complicated. They're not just making choices for themselves, they could be impacting the whole future of life, maybe even in the universe.
It's a lot to think about. The weight of their choices, the mystery of the other spacecraft, the longing for a world they can't experience. It's a story with a lot of layers.
And the authors do it so well. Darwinian Crystal Cube is a story that stays with you. It makes you think about technology, about humanity, about existing.
We've only scratched the surface.
We have.
We've talked about the setting, the characters, the ethical dilemmas, the science. But there's still so much to uncover.
Definitely.
The symbolism, the metaphors, the crystal cubes themselves, the robin's imperfections. Why is this story set in Antarctica?
Right.
And of course, the big question, will they bring back biological life, including themselves? What would that mean for Earth, for the universe?
We'll dive into all of that.
After a quick,
It's been heavy. All this talk about extinction and digital minds. But I think it's important to remember this book is a story.
It is, and it's so well told.
Right.
You have suspense,
Yeah.
philosophical questions, even these moments of beauty.
It's surprising to find beauty in a story about extinction.
It is, but that's how good the authors are.
Yeah.
They've created something that makes you think, but also makes you feel.
Like those digital minds, they're just information, but you really feel for them.
You do.
This longing for the physical world.
Yeah, they want the sensations they've lost, connection, just to be in a body again.
And that yearning. It drives everything.
It does. It pushes them to revive life, to bridge the gap between their digital world and the real world.
In all of that yearning, you find hope.
Yeah.
Like even in this post-apocalyptic world, something beautiful could happen. It says a lot about the human spirit, doesn't it?
It does.
Even after this horrible loss, they still want to connect, to create, to find meaning.
Okay, so let's talk about the crystal cubes.
Okay.
They're not just containers, right?
No, there's more to them.
They're symbolic.
Definitely. They represent this paradox. The digital minds, they're trapped, confined to a digital reality. But the cubes also represent rebirth, a new start.
It's powerful.
It is.
The robin. It's imperfect, but it's alive inside the cube.
It's like life finds a way, even in the most controlled places. And it reminds you, nature is unpredictable. You can have all the technology in the world, but things might not go as planned.
The cubes are like seeds, containing the future, something familiar, but also totally unknown.
And the digital minds, they have to decide, do they nurture these seeds, create a new world, or do they hold back because of the past?
And it's not an easy decision, especially with those other spacecraft.
Right?
The silent observers, we don't know what they want.
It adds so much tension.
And it does.
Like a reminder, the digital minds might not be in control.
It's like the authors are saying,
Yeah.
look, even in this new world, there are forces you don't understand, things you can't control.
Exactly.
And that uncertainty, that mystery, is what makes this book so good.
It does.
It leaves you with questions, even after you finish it.
It makes you think, what if? What would a future created by digital minds look like?
Right. Would it be a utopia? Technology and nature in harmony? Or would they make the same mistakes as humans, lead to more destruction?
The book doesn't tell you. It lets you decide.
And that's what makes it such good science fiction. It's
Yeah.
not just entertainment.
No.
It pushes your imagination,
Yeah.
makes you think about big questions. Technology, humanity, the future.
Darwinian Crystal Cube. It stays with you, makes you think about things differently, and it leaves you feeling a sense of wonder.
I think that's the perfect way to sum it up. If you want a book that'll get you thinking, really thinking
Right.
about the future, this is it. Darwinian Crystal Cube, Resurrection of the Homo Sapiens.
It's a story about what it means to be human, to exist, to hope, even when everything's gone.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time. Keep exploring.